I would like to begin with establishing Sargon and what I think about him. For you who don't know, his full name is Sargon of Akkad or Carl Benjamin. He's a British political YouTuber who almost exclusively makes videos about the SJW left and the problems they have caused, mainly in oppressing freedom of speech, but also in their positive attitude towards migration. And I like him. I love his accent, I mainly agree on his points, and I found some of his videos to be amazing. I don't agree on the criticism of him being right-wing. My issue would be that it's the same stuff over and over, but on the other hand, every voice proof freedom of speech is important. So now let's mix my political and Eurovision skills together and give him my response.
So let's talk about the Eurovision Song Contest. Now, if you're not from Europe or the locations nearby, then you probably don't know what the Eurovision Song Contest is, and I promise you, you are missing absolutely nothing.
Netta's main message is not even about the Me Too nor the feminist movement. It's about accepting differences. Written from Netta's own experience, I do not mind it. Especially among teenage girls on social media, I think this is a very important message. Then outside of that, Netta is pro Me Too and women speaking up, with lines like "stupid boy" being part of the song. Which I have to say, I interpret as more of a personal criticism to the boys that have been in her way than men in general. Now, the way Sargon frames this is one of the sneakiest and least honest way imaginable. He puts it as a short part in a series of videos called This Week in Stupid, so criticism like mine will look more fuzzy. But at the same time, he puts a stupid picture of Netta's face in the thumbnail. He doesn't outright mention Me Too and its movement as the reason why she won, but he starts by mentioning her victory.
The Eurovision Song Contest entrant and winner was a person called Netta Barzilia, and she is Eurovision 2018's hashtag #MeToo voice.
To later show specific clips of what she said before the competition. Without mentioning any other factors, that heavily implies that to his audience, to a degree that is just impossible to ignore. But just because something is SJW doesn't mean it's only SJW, as shown by the picture I've got from the common Eurovision person being into that bubble, who puts the music first, her being a good role model second, and Me Too is almost non-existent. To be fair, I've not watched all that many videos because most of them are really bad. Nor have I scrolled down the entire comment section of the video. But what I can say is this. It wasn't the main reason why Netta won. Netta won because her song was the right one for the competition and its algorithms, with some really unique elements. Now, I don't think most of you will like the song. Many in particular outside of the competition disliked it, as shown by the 400,000 dislikes. But how much someone splits opinion isn't important. You can't downvote the song. What's important is how many that likes it, remember it, and are willing to vote for it. And in that department, this song is doing great, because of the song itself. Its rare elements proves my point within of the song itself. Thinking about it, the only one that are really talking about Toy as a Me Too song is the media. So my guess would be that's where Sargon, as usually I guess, takes his cues from. And I am not a fan of how he, instead of just admit that he doesn't know, chooses to simplify and even indirectly lie about the situation due to his political agenda. Because here's the thing, just because you have a good and important point doesn't mean you should extend that point using biased imagination, because specific examples require specific solutions. You can call Trump a fascist all you want, but as long as he doesn't realize that what he really is an incompetent leader who can't face criticism, the real problem can never be solved. Taking it one step further, Sargon often criticizes feminists for making things a social problem that really isn't. Again, a completely fair criticism, but if you are now doing the exact same thing to prove that point, That is a textbook definition of inconsistency and hypocrisy, and that isn't something you should be involved in. Sargon is right on the basics. Eurovision is social justice, and its quality is lower than standard music. But what he fails to see is that it's so much more than that. It has an own charm to it, and just because it's social justice doesn't mean that's all there is. But sure, you can find real examples of that if you know what you're searching for. One that comes to mind is trans woman Conchita Wurst winning in 2014. Not really a bad song, but that may had an impact on the results. Or an even clearer case, Jamala would have never won if it wasn't for her message about the Armenian genocide and the migrant sympathetic voters. But that you won't criticize, because that's the young Turks, not your problem. Isn't it, Sargon?